Progress DMS. My name is Carl Lightfoot, and today we'll be doing a short screencast on the role of the service advisor or costing team or workshop control, depending on the size of your business, in the vehicle health check process. Now, you would have seen in the prior screencast that I would have been notified in my inbox here that I had a vehicle health check to price up in effect, and that internal mail would have sent me directly into the vehicle health check that I'm about to show you. So for completeness, I'm going to continue with the same record. So let's go and have a look at this customer, Mr. Andrews. You'll see here now on the T card, you'll also notice that there are 2 additional repairs that have been added, and obviously the parts element, the values that we added in the prior process. Now then, I'm going to take you straight to the advisor page. And the job really here is to either one of 2 things really. You'll notice at this moment in time these 2 repairs are under identified. You do have 3 other statuses: authorised, declined and follow-up. Now of course, authorised simply means that the customer has accepted and wants to go ahead. Declined by definition means they don't want it to go ahead. And follow-up is something you mark for your internal teams to have another attempt at the sales process, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks time, 6 months time, or whatever process you've defined within them. Now the way for me to continue the pricing for this line here, the pads and discs, is simply for me to update the quantity of hours. And you will have noticed in the technician cast I would have added the hours against this repair here. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to change that because I can. I'm going to put it as 1.1 and it's £80 per hour. And you'll notice that's now calculated my net labour values and obviously changed the gross values and so forth. Now I could of course also at this point apply some discount. Maybe it's a monetary discount. So I'm going to provide £30 worth of discount, and that'll then bleed that calculation through and work out the percentage. And likewise I can do that in reverse. So if I wanted to apply a 10% discount to it, then you see the total values lined up here. If I'm happy with that and I'm happy that it can be saved, then I simply update the repair details, and that now would have recorded that, and I could, if I want to, if you saw in the prior cast, forward this on to another member of the team to attempt to sell. And of course that can be anyone in your organisation potentially. It doesn't necessarily have to be the service advisor. But for the purposes of this, we're going to continue along. We're going to work now on the basis that the customer has authorised the repair, or in fact let's look at decline. So let's assume the customer declines the repair. It's now expecting you to provide a reason why the customer declined. So if we set that to too expensive, throughout the reporting processes, that's now going to give you quite a clear indication of the sales process. Likewise, I could set that to follow-up, which is now going to ask me if I try and update this. In fact, let's give that a try. So if we update this, it says enter a repair return date. So when do you expect to get that customer back into the business? Now of course I'm going to need to set that in the future, so I set my date there and continue to update the repair details. And so you go through each of the line items, setting whether the customer either would like to purchase the item, dealing them a better price in some cases, or marking it as declined. I'm going to put declined at this moment in time for the tyres, and I'm going to mark this one as authorised just so you can see how it looks at the end of the cycle. So if we now go ahead and update these, you'll see now that's put them into the appropriate statuses, and of course up here you'll see it's put the authorised amounts, so that's the sales value that you've achieved. From here I can now send this back to the technician in question with a notification telling them to now start the repair. And hopefully the process would have been quick enough from the point that they had the vehicle health check completed all the way through to the pricing and sales process and back to themselves again. And by sending it to them, they simply get the same internal messages that you were seeing before. That pretty much concludes very shortly the sales process, vehicle health check sales process for advisors. Many thanks.